Hey, this is Phil Rainieri, store manager at TechTools. I help make the arcade mods, and today I'm going to show you how to do it yourself at home. First step, you're going to turn it over, and there are 5 screws on the sides and back that you're going to remove. 2 silver screws on the back of the controller that you're going to remove, one near the USB port and one in the middle. Once you've taken those 7 screws out, 2 on the sides, 1 on the back, and 2 on the back plate, you can lift up, kind of slide it back and out, this back plate. So now you're inside the VCI-100. First step is going to be to take off this paper backing on this circuit board here. Once you've got that middle screw out, you're going to take this board, let it rest there. So you've got those 4 screws and that peg out. You can put this board back. Next you're going to take the 8 screws on the button panels out, 4 on each set of buttons. Once you've taken the screws off the jog wheels, you can take them off. The next step is to remove the 5 screws on each top and bottom plate. They're in the corners and 1 in the middle. So the 10 screws are off. You can take the plates off now. We've taken all of the body component screws out. The one thing that we loosened was this back plate. Now the only thing keeping the top plate on are these knobs. You're going to remove all of them. So the next step is going to be to remove the nuts that are on each knob. The size for this is a 7/16. You just need to loosen these and get them off with your finger after that. So now you have the top plate of your VCI-100. Your next step is going to be to take this to your local machine shop and use the cut guide that's provided to get these buttons drilled out for your arcade buttons.
We went ahead and got our arcade case back from the shop. As you can see, they've cut out the 4 buttons. There's some extra spaces here, but that's not going to be a problem because the overlay will take care of those. Now we're going to take the case and stick it right over. The first thing we're going to put back on are the nuts that go on these poties. We've gone ahead and put these nuts and washers back on. We're going to fix the jog wheels into place. You can do that by just gently holding on the bottom and aligning these screw holes up with the posts there. After you've got your jog wheels fixed, we probably want to do the line faders next. My 2 line faders are back in and they're feeling nice and firm. You can put the cross fader back in. Next we're going to put on this black back panel. Okay, now we can go ahead and flip the unit over and move on. Now there's one unique screw that we need to replace, and it's this post. This guy came right here in the middle. Okay, once we replace this post and these 4 screws, we can go ahead and slide this back on. We're going to slide this post through the back panel. Now we have one final screw to replace, and it goes right here. It's again one of the round silver screws. Make sure you replace this paper and we'll be good to go. Next we want to put on the arcade overlay that was included in your arcade upgrade package. Now, like I said, this thing is definitely removable for the next 24 hours, but after a few days it's going to be really in place and hard to remove. So make sure you're happy with the job now, and then we can move on. Now that the overlay's in, we can go ahead and put the arcade buttons in that came with your upgrade pack. Alright, once the arcade buttons are in place, we can go ahead and flip that guy back over and start making the connections. The first thing we're going to do is pre-solder these buttons. What that means is we're going to take our solder and our soldering iron, and we're going to go through, hold the solder to one post, hold the solder to the other side, and we're going to melt solder onto the post. Now that we've got our buttons pre-soldered, let's start with making the connection. So these are the old buttons, these are the new buttons, and there's definitely a relationship here. The first wire we want to cut. Now don't cut them all at once. I can't tell you enough. Don't cut them all at once. We need to cut these wires one at a time, otherwise you're going to really hate yourself and you're going to hate me. So first thing we're going to cut is this red wire. And get out our handy wire snippers and go ahead and make that first cut. Now we're going to pre-solder that. Just a general rule of thumb on soldering is that you should pre-solder everything to make the connections nice and solid. In your arcade button upgrade kit, you would have gotten this package here. This contains 4 things. 2 black shrink wraps and 2 pre-soldered lead cables. Now we want to go ahead and take that shrink wrap that we included and put it over the wire. We're going to take one of these connectors and we're going to join the two. So we take a little bit of solder, put it on our soldering iron, so all the connection points have solder on them. You got that? Gently rest them up against each other, heat everyone up, let go, and bingo, you've got a nice permanent solid connection. We're now going to slide this wrap up so the connection point is in the middle, and now we need to shrink this to protect that connection. If you want, you could also maybe even use some old school tape, but that's kind of ghetto. And the shrink looks nice and cool and will offer the best protection for your cables. We're not actually going to do anything with this cable right now. We're going to set it aside and make each of the connections to the 4 buttons. Now, this part is pretty easy if you follow this order very carefully. The next cable after the red one is the next one that we're going to snip. And we just go in order from right to left. Strip it just like we did the last one. Very gently grasp it and pull. I'm going to go ahead and pre-solder that. And now I'm going to bring that cable. I can pull on this a little bit to give me some length. Next we're going to click the next cable, cable number 2, which goes conveniently with button number 2. You'll notice that each one of these cables goes in order from right to left and is connected to the buttons from right to left. First is ground, then is button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4, from right to left. So we're going to do the same thing to this guy and all the cables after it. Pre-solder and push it straight through, bend it over, and push it against the metal. Alright, so those are the positive connections. Now we're ready to spread about our common ground. Each of these goes to each button, and it doesn't matter which goes to which. So all we do is heat up the post, slide it right through that hole at the top. Now I'm going to orient it so it's pointing backwards and let go of the soldering iron so the heat's removed. And once that's dried, I'm going to test it to make sure the connection is solid. Now that we've got all these connections made and the wires tucked away, we'll go ahead and clip the remaining cables. We'll take a little bit of tape here. I'm going to bend this in half and tape it up to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. So here's the back plate. We can go ahead and slide this directly on. Just center it, and it should slide right into place, like so. We need to replace this screw, and this screw. We're in the home stretch now. We need to replace the jog wheels and the various components. Now that we've got the jog wheels back in place, all we need to do is replace the faders and knob. Faders are pretty simple. They just slide right onto the post. If you've got a silver VCI and you're not very happy with your silver knobs, remember that we do sell black knob and fader packs, so you can get these nice rubberized black knobs and upgrade your unit. So there you go. You've completed a arcade button VCI 100.